What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. So, we are going down 4.59. Again, reiterate, watch, this is on the 1 year time frame, right? Big range. We haven't deviated. If anything, I can see us not making any lower lows than this, but I could be wrong. Let's actually zoom out to the 5 year because that would be a better perspective. So, this is the 4.41. Um, First I would like to see this level hold. If that doesn't, the next level I would want to see hold is 3.98. So around the fours. Again, I do believe that this going into the future is going to keep going up, right? Now we go zoom out 10 year, just making those higher highs um, or lower lows. Okay, then you max out. Guys, this is a clear shift in trend, right? For those of you who don't or may be watching for the first time, um, the bond market, you see, it usually goes in multi-decade trends. So if it's going down, it's going down for the foreseeable future, right? If you look at any 5 year time period, you can see that it's a sufficient amount of time to be able to notice if there's any change. Currently, we are working on that 5th year, right? Because as of 2020, when we bottomed in July, we've only been going up. I do believe that when we get out of this 5% resistance level, we're gonna continue going up. There's times where it like makes sharp turns, but it's not anything explosive, right? For the bond market, it is explosive. Don't get me wrong, but I do anticipate that we're gonna blow out of here at some point and get above 5%. When that happens or how that happens, it's up to anybody's guess, right? J.P. Morgan, might be a couple months now, was quoted saying that, hey, when that panic in the bond market happens, we'll be ready. So they're anticipating it happening. I think 2026 is going to be a very interesting year and full of surprises. And I think a lot of the events that occur is probably going to contribute a lot to let's put it this way: the charts always tell you what's coming, right? Whether the news are timed to reflect that or not, who knows, right? But everything just seems to come at the right time, just when the charts indicate that it's coming, which is very interesting. And if you ask a lot of people or you watch a lot of people who look at charts, they'll tell you that exact same thing, which it's very, very interesting how that happens. Anyways, moving on here, let's look at mortgage rates. 6.19, right? Lowest it's been in, let's see, I would say since October 3rd of 2024. That's how long it's been. So about a year and a month, so 13 months since we've seen these type of levels. And so yeah, it's coming down. I don't anticipate in the long run, right? Again, just like the 30-year bond showed a downtrend, I think we've now shifted, and I don't think you're going to be seeing like if we hit fives, I think that's probably the lowest we're going to see is fives if we get there. But as you can see, 15-year and 30-year are basically in alignment. 6.32, 6.2. So yeah, I think it'll be a very big shocker, right? If we get below fives, 6.08. So we'll see what the future entails. But if we do hit fives, I think that's the lowest you're probably going to see it get this cycle, at least for mortgage rates. So a lot of people, and I will say, be careful. Don't jump into buying a house at this moment in time, right? If you have the means to, there's a difference between being able to afford making a payment for a house and then sorry, I butchered that. There's a difference between being able to make the payment and being able to afford the payment. There's a big difference, right? Big difference. So make sure going into it, it's like, hey, this meet my budget, and if anything were to go south or sour, I can still make this payment, right? Affordability versus being able to make the payment. If your payment is $3,000 and you make $3,500 a month, you cannot afford that payment. You can make the payment, but you can't afford it. And the reason I'm hammering this home time after time after time is because of news like this. Amazon is set to fire 30,000 employees starting tomorrow. 30,000 employees, and these are corporate employees. Last I read, and so what's gonna happen when you have 30,000 Amazon employees, corporate employees being fired? And then I just saw a list, right? If I actually go to, I think this Watcher Guru posted another list here about other companies that are actually having massive layoffs. If I can find it, and I'm not sure if this was the same one that went ahead and listed. No, I'm not seeing it here. Anyways, nevertheless, 30,000 employees. I anticipate this is going to keep going up. There's a lot more layoffs. I saw a list of companies that are laying off this week. And if you lose your job, how are you going to make the payment, right? You want to make sure that regardless if you lose your job, you can find ways or be able to muster up payment on that mortgage. And so you have to be able to take that into consideration about affordability. And I know a lot of people want to get into houses, I know. But when people tell you the best time to buy plant a tree was yesterday, of course. But there's seasons, there's seasonalities to this. And you got to think really hard. It's never going to be an easy choice. That's why, don't try to time the market. What you got to do is evaluate the potential, right, and the affordability. That's all. So with this news, there's more coming down the pipeline. Rate cuts are never a positive thing. It always indicates, hey, there's tightening. Credit is tightening, and so the Fed goes ahead and loosens monetary conditions, but that doesn't take effect until 6 to 12 months down the line. So that being said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let me hear what you guys are seeing, thinking about. What are your friends or families talking about? What's the topic of discussion surrounding employment, housing? I'm curious to hear in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.